I just want the vice president to decide to do what's right for him and his family. And I don't think it's useful to be behind the scenes asking this or saying that. I've done none of that. And I just want him to reach whatever he thinks the right decision is.
Now, why on earth a seemingly smart man such as Joe Biden would want to become president of the United States at a time when most people are mulling over the height of their front lawn is well beyond plenty of people. But this is American politics. This is where age is not a boundary. Lawn care is somebody else's concern. And if we are to believe some new numbers, Biden might just be the first person to inhabit the White House into his 80s. That's if he goes 2 terms. This, of course, nothing more than academic math, not meant to cause logical and intelligent heads to explode. But as some might add, well, at least it's not Hillary Clinton. The political animal is open for business. Welcome the former Deputy Staff Secretary to President Bill Clinton, now veteran Democratic strategist David Goodfriend, joined by Georgetown University professor and veteran Republican strategist Bradley Blakeman. No heads exploding, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get to it. Hey, I'll tell you what, Brad, I'm going to go ahead and start with you on this one. Quinnipiac University poll. If Biden was the Democratic candidate, he would beat Donald Trump by 8 points, Jeb Bush by 6 points, Marco Rubio by 3 points. Does this concern the right at all?
No, and it's good to be the unannounced candidate because then you can brag about numbers when you're not announced. As soon as he announces, you'll see those numbers dramatically change once he's in the race.
Why?
And depending on, well, because he is going to be a candidate. We're going to look at his failed record of 7 years running in the campaign and 6 so far as his vice president. He's joined at the hip with Obama. If I had a choice, I'd much rather go against Biden than Clinton. Clinton is self-destructing. The coronation is ended. And bring it on, Joe Biden.
Oh, boy, David, here we go. We got so much to cover here in just a short span of time. But I'll tell you what, though, Brad makes some good points because Joe Biden right now is not running on his record. He doesn't have to get out there and tell people what he would do. So isn't it fair to say that this is a little bit of a shadow poll right now that really doesn't mean much?
Well, I certainly agree with Brad that the best numbers Joe Biden will show are before he gets into the race. And then it's nowhere to go but down because the attack machine is going to come after him just as strongly as it's gone after Hillary Clinton. Now, the polling that I saw today said something a little bit different than what we just discussed. It showed in the primary matchup, Hillary Clinton still by far is ahead of both Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. And in head-to-head matches, she still is ahead of the leading Republican candidate. So I'm not sure that the imminent entrance of Joe Biden has really shifted the race dramatically. What I do think it would bring to the Democratic primary, and I think this is probably a good thing, it would force the candidates to really sharpen their own messages and their own tactics and bring out a debate. I just think we're going to never see anything on the Democratic side like the clown show, free-for-all mudfest that we're seeing on the right with the Republicans.
I just knew you would have to be the guy to bring clown into this somewhere because I knew it would come from the left and not necessarily from the right. Hey, Brad, now wait, Brad, I'm going to let you then go ahead. I wasn't going to go here, but let's go to the whole clown thing that still continues here. Look. I've heard this over. I've even used this from time to time. People on the show have used it from time to time. But I know that you will fire back and say, wait a minute, it's good for the cause. It's good to get the Republicans out there. But you got to admit, it is a little bit of a madcap dash right now, especially with Donald Trump in the driver's seat.
That's what democracy is. It's messy. It's fun. And guess what? The cream rises to the top. Why? Because of competition. Look, I'd much rather be a clown than a criminal. As it turns out, Hillary may have to leave the race, not of her own choosing, but by an indictment. Certainly as a lawyer, I looked at this thing, and I think she's in serious trouble. She's under an FBI investigation. And another thing is, 17 people on the Republican side vying for the most important job in the world. There are more people applying for the manager's job at CVS. So I don't think we have too many. I happen to think we have
wait a minute. I got to stop you here when you talk about lawyers. Okay, we know that investigations take a long period of time. Isn't it possible that this investigation is going to go right through the primaries, right through the election, and that Hillary Clinton could be president of the United States? Horrors and shock before anybody actually brings any charges.
Well, there are two.
Let me just jump in.
Hang on one sec, David. I want to let Brad do that as the lawyer. Go ahead. Hang on tight, David. Go ahead, Brad.
There are two courts. There's the court of public opinion, which is just as visceral as the court of law. And she's being tried in the court of public opinion right now. And if you look at her polls, they're not very good. So She may never ever get to a criminal indictment, but she's already indicted in the court of public opinion.
And David, I'm going to let you answer, but I also have to add in all this, David, come on. When are the Democrats going to look, the voters going to look and say, come on, this is a drip, drip, drip. Now she's trying to back up a little bit from what she said. She's trying to back up a little bit more. Come on, I hear a truck with the beep, beep, beep going off every day here. Even Democrats have got to start asking, there's got to be some meat here somewhere.
Well, that, of course, is the hope of Trey Gowdy and the Republicans who are pushing this narrative. But think about Scott Walker, because I'm a lawyer, too. I was jumping for joy when I saw Scott Walker accused of criminal deeds by combining his official duties with his campaign duties while head of Milwaukee County. I thought that was an ace in the hole. Look what happened. The law and the legal system proceeded along their course. He was not indicted. And I think it's the mirror image of what's going on right now with Hillary Clinton. You have attacks and theories and people saying this is breaking the law. But here's something really interesting. The New York Times, that great rag of the left, had to retract its original story saying that this was a criminal investigation. It was not. The Department of State has actually said, we have all the documents that we've requested from Hillary Clinton, and now they're being examined. I think the notion that this is somehow eating away at her polling, if I can just turn to that real quick, again, I'll go back to the polls I saw today. Her support among Democrats has not eroded. Her head-to-head against Joe Biden or against Bernie Sanders has not eroded. So I think it's about time we start counting votes.
All right, I'll tell you what. Next time we get together, then we're going to go ahead and count votes.
Real people getting real booths and count real votes.
Next time we get together, we're going to go ahead and count votes. We're going to have a hand count from everybody across America just to do it. I think it's not a bad idea. David Goodfriend, Bradley Blakeman, thanks so much for joining us, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.
And go to newsmaxpolls.com, cast your vote, and tell us if you think Hillary Clinton did indeed break the law. Stay with us. The Hardline continues.